Well, this is good news. So we're at the building pad, and I can't remember where I left this, but back in November, we placed the order for a new 42 by 63 building, just simple, non-insulated garage door on either end. Just concrete. It will have a concrete floor. That is not part of the true contract with the building company, but they dropped the building off the other day. This is the first day the weather's actually been decent enough to come out and look at it, and this is probably the only day for the next 3 or 4 days that it'll be decent enough to look at. So last fall, what I did at the request of the company, which for those of you wondering, I went through Cleary Building Company, and I am sorry for the wind. Like I said, this is about the best opportunity I have to come out and do this. And I used just some black dirt that I have. We'll have to work on this later to create a little bit of the brown dirt is going to be the building itself, and this is just the track around for their equipment to be level and everything. And the problem is I did all this in early December of last year after the pad was put in, and so I had to basically smear around dirt clods that were already frozen, so that meant that this was actually extremely difficult to do, and now it's just so muddy that I can't do much at all. In fact, I mean, you can still see some ice right there at the tip of my finger. But this will be the building. Eventually, plan is to actually put another building right next to it to serve it as a replacement shop. So here's a palette of all the parts and everything. I'll try to throw up an artist rendering, but like I said, it's not insulated and it will not have electricity to start with. Hopefully we'll put electricity in it later this summer. We're going to trench. I'm going to run a mini excavator again. We'll trench around the shop and then back into this back corner, and we'll actually run 2 3-inch lines to add power to the building that will be next door to it in about 10 years. But here are the clear panels. This is all of the screws and everything else that's needed for the building. And then we have a couple pallets of or a couple bundles, 3 bundles I guess, of all of the boards and everything that they'll need. I'm guessing that those are the boards that go in the ground. And then we have all the 2x4s. The building color, the side of it will be this brown color, which is not exactly 100% match, but that's what it'll be, very similar to that building. And then I'll go around the other way. The rest of the building will be, the roof will be that color. So that's about as close as we could get to the existing buildings. But that is all of the parts, pieces, and whatnot. And then over here are the trusses. Like I said, 42 feet wide and 63 feet long. So, and it will have a 12-foot, it is 12-foot high sidewall. I think it's a 12-foot high sidewall. And so on each end, it'll have a 11-foot, 10-foot door. I can't remember. I think a 10-foot door. I looked at all these specs so long ago that I'm having trouble remembering now. But these are all the trusses, appropriately load rated as they should be, given our snow and climate. So not too much of a concern there. Overall, really happy to get this started. So funny thing is, when I set out to build this thing, I called pretty much all of the major building companies, and I called a couple of local ones in town, and shockingly, I had one local one come out and give me an estimate, and Cleary come out and give me an estimate. Nobody else wanted to talk to me. That includes except for Morton. Morton did talk to me, and I about had a heart attack at the Morton price. But there's some benefits to Morton that you don't have with other building companies. Morton is basically turnkey. They will do everything for you. You don't have to do anything. Whereas, you know, I have to work on the building site manager is helping me with the concrete in this case. But overall, I have to do anything else for this building. And so, you know, Morton is basically turnkey. They'll come in, they'll build it, they hand you the keys, and they're done. And so, honestly, for what this building is, it's strictly storage. It's for all of that crap there on the side of the shop. It's for the trailer. It's for all of this crap here on the concrete pad. You know, so it's just a storage building. It's just a large storage building for my intents and purposes. Originally, what we were going to do, before I get back into the building companies, is we were going to try to put it on this concrete slab, and this concrete slab has a little bit too much fall in it, and basically we were worried about water standing in one end compared to, you can't see it on video, but about the first 20 feet of this pad is perfectly fine, but then it starts to slope off. This was an old cattle feedlot area, and the cattle feedlot, I guess the pen used to open out in this direction. But so I'm just going to use this as a parking pad, and the building will actually open out on the pad, and it'll actually have garage doors on either end, and then this end will have a man door on it. So the next building will actually sit right here where I'm standing. These 3 stakes, 1, 2, 3, line up with the edge of the existing shop. This building will probably be a 60 by 80 or 60 by 120, depending on where I go with my career and what I'm doing here and everything else. So back to building companies. Aside from Morton, Morton was just too expensive for what I was looking to do at the time. Morton would be a great option for the future building. And you know, Cleary overall they were easy to deal with. They were realistic with the time. I talked to Reeves. I talked to gosh, I can't remember all the companies I talked to. Reeves, Lester, and none of them would even call me back. I had to call them twice to ask questions. To see if I could even get somebody out here to give me an estimate, and they wouldn't even talk to me. I guess it wasn't a big enough job, and I wasn't important enough. So, I mean, they're not going to get any of my business in the future, because if they wouldn't even talk to me about this building, they kind of shot themselves in the foot for future buildings. That's why I went with Clary. No other reason than nobody else would work with me. The local contractor, I just didn't get a good vibe on. You know, it sounded like it was going to take him a year to put it up. So I just moved forward with that. And I don't have the time to build this myself or anything, or manage a construction project or anything like that. So that's where we're headed. Hopefully the crew's here in the next couple weeks to get it started. They might even be here next week. Really fortunate, got the building permit right before they closed the county offices for the virus situation. So very, very fortunate there. So we can keep moving forward with building. And because, I mean, obviously, you know, they're out in the middle of nowhere. They don't necessarily have any problems working. And I'm at home. So since I'm at home, not a big deal. I can probably get some video of them working and putting it up. And hopefully in the next about 2 months, we have a building. And hopefully I can go ahead and put the floor in. The floor is probably, concrete is just so expensive. One of the reasons I wanted to use the existing concrete, I think this concrete's going to run somewhere in the neighborhood of about $15,000. So that's going to be the last major piece of it. And I haven't even worked on scheduling that or anything. So as soon as the building goes up, though, we'll start working towards concrete, and then we'll put some pallet racking in it, and then start putting stuff in it, start buying to put stuff in it as soon as we get some of the payments from the building made. So thanks for watching.